Perfect. Well, tell me about the experience. What was it like? What happened?
The experience was great. It was 3 days. So the first day, it was sort of, we're getting to know each other. We talked about sort of, we did a deep dive on ourselves before we even went into sort of some recommendations on, how to date and moving into the love space. It was more about, developing that self-love, which was great. I got to hear other women's stories, which were, pretty diverse, but, there was sort of this singular thread that went through everyone's story, which is, we all need to love ourselves before we are ready to, bring in a partner or really, fulfill the full potential of partnership. So I thought it was really good. The second day, we had the opportunity to see and experience the interaction between Coach Cass and her husband, Coach Andy, which was great. He sort of gave a male's perspective on things. So that was something that I didn't know that I would be experiencing, but I do think that, it was sort of icing on the cake because, it's Valentine's Day and you're hearing a guy's experience from a different perspective. This is sort of the demographic that we're targeting. So that was great. And then the third day, she brought in, I think it was a colorist. I may be saying her profession wrong, but basically sort of walked us through what colors we should wear when we're doing our profile pictures and going on our first dates. And, it was very interactive and I really like that as well.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that mattered. Wow.
I didn't either. I wear black almost every day. I might wear a pop of color on my lips, but yeah, I'm a pretty monotone type of individual. So it just opened my eyes that maybe I need to explore at least for the purpose of, highlighting my skin tone or projecting a certain image. I may need to go beyond black.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So if you think about the whole 3-day event, was there any big like light bulb moment that you were like, that was worth it? That's why I came. Or what?
I think highlighting habits. I'm really big on like tracking my habits and making sure that I have certain routines down because life is always, brings twists and turns. So I think that her emphasis on, how you date, how you show up in the world, I think was so relevant. I was actually really busy with the client during the second day. So sort of my revelation moment was like day 2 when I just realized, sort of how you do some things is how you do everything. So how I'm showing up in the world from a business perspective, from a dating perspective, with my family, just in every situation that I need to be mindful of certain habits that I am bringing into all of these different avenues. And so to me, the conference was not just about love. It was really just level setting on, who I am and how I'm showing up in the world. And am I seeking the right intentions? Because I can be very singular focused, but how you show up is pretty consistent across.
That's awesome. What a great message.
Yeah.
So, how has life changed since the summit then?
I think for me, although I've been very busy, I know we've tried to get together several times and I do apologize for that. But
No problem.
for me, I'm more relaxed about the situation. So I'm not taking it as a project where there has to be this clearly defined goal at the end. And if I don't meet that goal, I'm a failure. No, I'm like really focused on, being this, being intentional about what I want, but enjoying the journey. And, whatever happens, yes, I have to put some action into it, but focus on what I can do, not on this outcome that's been sort of holding me back.
That's awesome. So it sounds, what I'm hearing you say is you're letting life kind of happen instead of trying to direct life.
Right, because I've been very rigid in this process because I feel like I'm in control of a lot of areas in my life, but finding love and dictating the whole process is sort of it's an unrealistic view. So, I do what I can, and I take the tools that I learn, and I'm excited about the sort of unplanned events. Those grocery store moments or those gym moments, or walking down the street in Miami, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm excited about the unknown, and I'm not trying to manage it.
That
I'm
is
just show up the best version of me.
that is awesome. So what would you say to someone who's maybe they've heard about Coach Cass, but they're really not sure if this Love Summit is something they should invest their time and money in?
Mhm. I would say definitely do it. I was very shocked at the cost per value. So I feel like at the end we owed her, and definitely her husband as well, because I wasn't expecting him. She also, I forgot to mention, on day 3 brought in an improv specialist. So we were able to sort of, be silly, show multiple emotions. We went through a trust sort of exercise. So I thought that for the value, it was amazing. Like, I would definitely recommend it for 3 days, especially if you're sitting home or you're trying to avoid that Valentine's Day, which a lot of single people are. I think that, she brought so much value, and it wasn't just about the 3 days. It was about the learning, the implementation after the 3 days. And I just really think that this is her wheelhouse. This is not my wheelhouse. So, I'm definitely a student and she's a teacher, and it's very interesting to see that dynamic. Some people with a lot of authority in a subject can be condescending, or she's not. She's very down to earth. She's energetic. She's relatable. She's engaging. And so I definitely would recommend Coach Cass.
That's awesome. Anything else that you'd like to share comes top of mind?
I think the other thing that's top of mind is that I get the opportunity to see her again this summer. So we're going on a cruise. I think I told you how I met her was on a cruise last summer. We're going on the same cruise. So I look forward to her morning workshops. And I know I have to get some work done in the area of love before I see her next. I know that she has a mastermind group, which unfortunately I'm not a part of, but I think that it's a great avenue to continue the conversation and the accountability. And the other women that have been a part of this experience for me has also been sort of the icing on the cake, because they're relatable. They're women of a certain age. I mean, although I think Coach Cass has the ability to sort of coach or teach across multiple generations, I thought that was quite interesting that you saw sort of this 40 and up crowd. I mean, there was someone who was a millennial, but even she was relatable, her experience, and how she viewed herself as it relates to love. So I think you meet amazing people throughout this process that Coach Cass connects you to.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think my opinion is one of the often overlooked benefits of live events like this is the other people in the room. So that is awesome.
Because we had great conversations every day during lunch, and there was sort of bonding, and there weren't cameras around, so we had a different level of conversation that I think helped us all show up while we were there, because that was something I was a little nervous about. Will people actually show up? Meaning that, are they just attending, or are they going to be open and honest? And everyone was. It was 100% participation across the board.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Well, it sounds like it was a great event then.
It was awesome. It was really good. I really, like I said, I was very shocked at the cost with the amount of value that I received.
Yeah, so you feel like she should raise the price a little bit?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. I used to do pricing for tech companies, so I was definitely like, oh, but I'm sure she's getting. It's not all about the business aspect for her, if this is her passion, but I am a financial consultant, so I do notice. I do notice those things. But
Well,
Coach, if you're listening, do not send me an invoice for.
No promises. No promises. Oh, that's hilarious. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Oh, last question. Scale of 1 to 5. 1 is, it was all right. Probably wouldn't do it again. 5 is, it was amazing. Exactly what I needed. Go back again if I can. Where would you rank it?
Definitely a 5. And I am typically a glass half empty. But definitely a 5. I think, if I could capture some of the moments that I had there, it was emotion, it was excitement, it was laughter, it was joy, it was a lot of different things all encompassed into this Success and Love Summit. So definitely a 5.
That's awesome. And how long ago was that now?
Ooh, a month ago, literally 30 days ago.
Wow, that's awesome. So if this interview is a month later, that must have had a huge impact. So that is awesome.
It did. Like I said, I think one of the biggest takeaways is, whether it's the person showing us, that we can wear multiple colors, whatever the topic was, I think the revelation for me is how I show up in one area is how I'm showing up throughout my life.
That is amazing.
That self-awareness definitely
Yep.
was the biggest revelation.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time for this interview. Really appreciate it. I know Coach Cass appreciates it as well. If we can help in any area, reach out to us. And I will let Coach Cass know to look for you on the ship.
Absolutely.